morning, Captain Muse, Chief Warrant Officer Beldueza, Chief Warrant Officer Morbido, class mentors, Commander Pecora, Chief Warrant Officer Huffman, Mr. Mike Little, friends, family, and distinguished guests. My name is Chief Warrant Officer Michael Hefty. I will be today's Master of Ceremonies for the Chief Warrant Officer Professional Development Graduation Ceremony. On behalf of the Chief Warrant Officer Professional Development Class 0424 and our professional development instructors, it gives me great pleasure to welcome everyone to today's ceremony. At this time, Chief Warrant Officer Jeremy Moore, our class leader, will address the class and guests. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, class 0424, and welcome to our graduation. Since day one, everyone said we could not do this. They'd say, why are they here? Who appointed these guys? They should just quit. The instructors, they would say this. Well, maybe not with their words, but behind all of Jamie's contagious, bubbly giggles, we knew what he was thinking. See, right now, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. And behind Tony's piercing eyes via Teams and his handing out of strikes for forgotten hands raised, I did not forget about that. We knew what he was thinking. Like, just don't show up next week. But we proved them wrong. And now we're here. So when you go home, you need to let your family know, your wife, your kids, your parents. When you're at work, let your subordinates know, your bosses know, your peers know that you are now Chief Warrant Officers now. But seriously, I want to thank all of you for all of your help throughout these couple weeks. Well, I'd say to the command, thanks for the hospitality, but they had an emergency to go to. But thanks for the hospitality while we've been here. The sponsors, thank you guys for showing up. If I've learned nothing else throughout my career, it's that just showing up is like 75% of the battle. So thank you guys for being here. To Tony and Jamie, you guys were absolutely awesome. You mentioned earlier, some people think this is just a check in the box. I originally was one of those people, but you guys made it a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed being here the last 2 weeks. So thank you for that. And to my subordinates, I want to say, though they say leadership's easiest when you have a great team, and you guys made this really easy. And I hope we all can KIT, keep in touch after this is over. And they also say that with minimum responsibility comes minimum power. So class dismissed. You all graduated. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, CWO Jeremy Moore. At this time, our class leader and assistant class leader, CWO Joshua Lamphere, would like to take the time to recognize the class mentors. Would Commander Pecora and CWO Huffman please join me at the podium?
Yeah, do I read these? Is there anything to read? Nope. No, okay. Thank you, Commander, for all your. No. You each get one. You want me to stand in the middle?
Yes, please.
Oh, let me get over here.
Get over here. It's fine. And on three. One, two, there we go. This one is the same. This is your moment for your speech. All right, I got a notebook. I want to be succinct and specific, and I'm going to cut the first 3 pages of this out because class leader, how much time? You said you wanted 27 minutes. You only took 3, so I think you bid your time back to me? Okay, all right. So in order to be succinct, and I think about this and I look at you guys, and 50% or more of your mindset right now is on that trip to the airport and getting back home. So I'm not going to fill you full of some philosophical something or other. Philosophical, is that even a thing? I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you an analogy or a metaphor. I don't know the difference between the two, so you pick which one it is. So I got two Matt warrant officers here, so I know you're going to understand my analogy / metaphor. Everybody else, especially the yeoman types, hopefully you know what a lathe is. Does everybody know what a lathe is? Okay, so picture yourself. You've got this lathe. What's the purpose of the lathe? You're going to take a block of something and you're going to turn it into something. So what happens when the lathe starts to turn? It starts to spin. You get centrifugal force trying to pull things apart. And as you speed up, if that piece on your lathe is off center, the more speed, the more things that go on around it, that centrifugal force is pulling it apart. You try to apply any sort of pressure onto that piece on your lathe, when it's off center, it's going to fly off, crash and burn, hit the wall, and everything is gone. So I want you to think of this as your ability to control things around you, as the centrifugal force of life, mission, family, whatever the case is, whatever's going on around you. As life starts to spin, picture yourself as that piece of work, or you're the one holding that tool, making that piece of work. What do you do on a lathe? You're going to either make a replacement part for something, you're going to do a piece of art, whatever the case is. Think of this as yourself being centered. If you are centered, mind, body, and spirit, and you have control of that speed of that lathe, you are in charge now. You're the leaders. You can make things happen, or you can just let it go off center and wobble and crash and burn, and then you're still there as a leader to pick up the pieces. So center yourself first. Leadership, you have to be able to lead yourself first and then lead others. You're at a point in your career now where you have a lot more responsibility, a lot more pressures, a lot more centrifugal force pulling at you, demanding your time. And there's always a demand for time, which makes things, you got to rush things. So that's that dial on that. Have the knowledge, use these tools, techniques, models, theories, all these concepts that these two fabulous instructors have given you, and have that foresight to take that control of that knob, turn it down, recenter yourself, recenter your surroundings, and when you're centered and you get that thing moving smooth, and you apply that little bit of pressure of leadership, you start to take that block of nothing, and you can turn it into a masterful piece of art.
So this is my second time doing the mentor for CWOPD class. They're all a little different, but I take a lot out of this myself coming in and seeing this, and the camaraderie meeting with everybody. It energizes me to go out and do my job. So it was enough of importance to me that literally I'm leaving from here to go take a nav brief and get underway for patrols. So I'm glad to see that each of you took this as important as I think it is myself. We talked about this a little bit in class, but what I sort of want to leave you with is thinking about priorities. So we are a constrained organization. Many organizations are, but we're pretty lean, right? We have to manage time, we have to manage money, and we have to manage people in order to get the most done that we can. And a lot of times what we will do is hurt our people and hurt ourselves in order to try to make mission, achieve excellence through sweat equity. It's always a fixer-upper, right? And if we just work harder, we'll get it done. What I want to offer you is that excellence in all things is not achievable. At least it's not sustainable. So where you are as leaders and as technical specialists, right, you are some of the folks with the most credibility on what is right, what is in accordance with policy, and what the standard should be. So I charge each of you, when you think about you go back to your work, is to work on finding that balance. Knowing what things need to be good enough, what things need to be excellent, and helping your folks achieve those. But at the same time, making sure that you are taking care of yourself and you are taking care of your people. Not just professionally, but personally. Asking those questions are you getting time for your medical readiness? Are your people getting time for their medical readiness? What kind of messages are we sending if we're focusing on tasks almost exclusively instead of people? To find that balance. It's been great being with you all the last week. Sorry I couldn't have been here more, but again, to try to live what I'm saying, I myself was trying to find balance this week in terms of being here, but also being present with my family and preparing for patrol, right? And so I feel like I may not have achieved excellence this week, but I found balance. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Commander Pecora, Mr. Huffman. There are 2 formal award presentations for each Chief Warrant Officer Professional Development course. Each award is unique in the way that it is earned. The first award is the Spirit of the Chief Warrant Officer Award. The Spirit of the Chief Warrant Officer Award is presented to the Chief Warrant Officers selected by their classmates. And I wish to highlight that point, selected by their classmates. As a role model for the Chief Warrant Officer course, this award is sponsored by the National Chapter of the Chief Warrant Officers Association. Representing the National Chapter of the Chief Warrant Officers Association is Mr. Mike Little. Captain Muse, CWO Tony Morbido, and class mentors, can you please join me at the podium?
All right, you guys excited for this? It's a tight vote, tight vote. The United States Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officer Professional Development, the National Chief Warrant Officer Association's Outstanding Chief Warrant Officer Award as selected by your shipmates for exemplifying excellence in the knowledge, skills, abilities, and professionalism expected in our Chief Warrant Officer Corps goes to CWO2 Michael Hefty. Certificate. Come over. Yeah, keep going. You got it. Yeah.
Congratulations. Just keep on yours. I'll put it in the box if you want to hold it. Thank you.
Good luck getting that home.
Oh, wait.
So picture right here.
Look at that.
There you go. Yeah, you got to make a speech. Yep.
I don't have any note cards, so couldn't make my list. Wow. I'm pretty speechless. Yeah. No, I appreciate this. I was not expecting anything like this. Thank you so much. This has been a great experience for me. I've had a great time this entire class. Probably way better than any other C-school I've ever been to. So thank you all for, your wisdom, friendship, late nights in the hotel lobby where we were studying and doing academics. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you all.
Yeah, Mike.
Just destroyed this whole thing. The second and final award is the Foundation for Coast Guard History Honor Graduate Award. Chief Warrant Officer, Professional Development Class 0424. Captain Muse, CWO Jamie Baldueza, and class mentors, can you please join me at the podium?
Honor graduate, United States Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officer, Professional Development, the Foundation for Coast Guard History Honor Graduate for Academic Excellence and Exemplary CWOPD Class 04 TAC 24. In addition, you got a Start with the Y scientific book, as well as this wonderful pictorial history of the U.S. Coast Guard. Wonderful. With that, the honor graduate goes to CWO2 Jaime Ray. With a 96.88% final grade point average. Well done, sir. Well done. Oh, I got to take a picture. Here we go. Come on, sir. Nice. You got a speech. Hold on. Before he goes and does the speech, I just want to say the top 11 students that was vying for this were only like less than 5% between the top 1 and top 11. You guys killed it, I just want to say. So, with that, Jaime.
I just want to let you know, due to my authority and jurisdiction, this is rigged. I didn't actually win this. No, I'm kind of shocked, actually. I'm glad to receive this. I appreciate these gifts. This is very, very awesome, and it's an honor to, I don't know if I've ever gotten top, academically in anything. But I'll just repeat what I said earlier to you all, that, as I said, being here reinvigorated me, hearing each one of you pipe up and talk about your knowledge in your field. I literally was sitting back like, man, these some really squared away people here, and I'm glad to see the Coast Guard is promoting really awesome people. And I'm glad to see the Coast Guard has really awesome facilitators to teach us all. So thank you all. Take care out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did way better than I did. All right, it is now time to recognize each graduating student. Students, when your name is called, please step forward to receive your certificate. Captain Muse, CWO Baldueza, CWO Morbido, Mr. Little, and class mentors, please join me at the podium.
All right. Oh, yeah, I do. As you know, we like to do things differently here at CWOPD compared to any other course that's out there in the Coast Guard or in the world, I would say. So with that, if you remember, there was a piece of information you had to give us on day one when you actually came here for resident day. This is where it all comes out. Oh, yes, indeed. So, without further ado,
I call your name, please go through the line this way. Shake all of our hands, give us fist bumps, and
we will congratulate you and celebrate your graduation from this course. Starting with our first graduate, lived in Belize for 12 years, known as Bradman, Dwayne Bradley. Our next graduate, their interesting fact is that they know how to juggle, known as Sideburns, David Burns. Our next graduate represented South Carolina for the World Axe Throwing live stream the matches, known as Creature. It's Justin Creature. Our next graduate this past Saturday, their small business won the new business of the year in Southeast Alaska, known as White Hulk Ian Dempster. next graduate has served in 3 different armed services. Call him Frankie. Franklin. Our next graduate, the entire year revolves around hunting ducks, known as Cheese Mike Hefty. Cheese. While stationed in Singapore, our next graduate did the Hangover tour in Bangkok like they did in the movie known as Cadillac. It's Seville Henny. Our next graduate has moved over 25 times in a total of 7 different states since childhood, known as Doogie. It's Michael Johnson.
The OG John Dutton.
Our next graduate was a 3rd and 4th grade state spelling bee champion for the state of Minnesota, known as Lamp. It's Joshua Lamphere. Our next graduate, they've been in the Coast Guard recruiting movie called One Coast Guard, known as AJ. It's Alan Lane. Our next graduate is a private pilot, goes by roll Travis Marsh. Our next graduate ran a marathon known as McPog Petty Officer First Class. It's Jeremy Moore. Our next graduate is an entry-level ukulele player known as Luis Ortega. Next up, this graduate sailed the world with the United Kingdom Royal Navy on their only icebreaker, known as Snarks. It's Justin Scott. Countries so far, known as Soko. It's Matt Sokolowski. They dropped out of high school to join the service after their 17th birthday, known as Chip Brendan Vaughn. Missionary work visiting orphanages in Hyderabad, India, known as Dougie Dennis Vetrano. Our next graduate loves to collect oil lamps, known as Willie Brian Williams. Our next graduate got lost driving the Commandant of the Coast Guard around, known as J.A. Pistolas, Jaime Ray.